I wanted to post a little video today that shows you how to acid test your jewelry for gold and silver content. Now, in the industry, most people are going to use a kit like this. One, it's very affordable. This is about $25 online. You can buy it on Amazon. And it's a very reliable test. There are other ways of testing the jewelry. There's some really sophisticated machinery, but those can run upwards to about $30,000. So you have a big range, and because this is more affordable, this is what most jewelers are going to use. So you get a little kit like this, and they're going to come with the different acids. Your 10 karat, 14 karat, you've got your 18 karat, 22 karat, silver tester, and platinum. You also get a little rubbing stone or a rubbing glass. This is actually a piece of glass. They are both very, very reliable. And in some cases, you'll get some little instructions. You might even get some little polishers or cleaners. But this is going to be the way that most jewelers test their items. So I'm going to go ahead and run through that, and hopefully you guys will get a little bit of knowledge and you'll know how to test your own jewelry if you'd like to do that at home. So first things first, if you are somebody who likes to buy jewelry, whether it's just for yourself or if it's for resale or for gifts, make sure that you invest in a good little magnifier. So this one here was about 12 bucks, maybe 15 on Amazon. It has lights, which is nice, 2 different settings. You can kind of keep it closed if you don't want to use those. And then it's got 3 different lenses. So you've got a 10x magnification, a 20x, and a 30x. And here's the little switch for the 2 different light settings. It really is a good tool. You can get a nice little 10x loupe as well for like 15 bucks. So just buy one of those, carry it around with you. If you're somebody that likes to go look at jewelry, especially at those auctions and estate sales, like I said, it does come in handy. So first things first, you're going to take whatever piece of jewelry you find and see if there's any markings on it. You want to see if there are maker's marks, if there are hallmarks from overseas, or if there are any gold marks. And so this one here, you can clearly see that it's marked 14 karat gold, and then it's got some maker's marks right after that. Now, unfortunately, a lot of jewelry can be marked a certain type of gold content, but it's not. It happens, there are unscrupulous people out there, so sometimes things that are marked like 18 karat are really only 14 karat. So that's why it's good to have a little kit like this to test at home, especially for those of you who really are interested in spending some money on jewelry, because it is an investment. You want to make sure that you're getting what you pay for. So we're going to pretend that this did not have any marks on it, and we're going to go ahead and do a test. So I am going to zoom in so that you can see this a little bit better. So this is the glass plate that we're going to be doing the scratch test on, and this is the ring that we will be testing. But another quick little tip that I want to share with you, and this little ring will demonstrate it for me. So this is a yellow gold ring with rubies and an opal, and they are natural rubies and a natural opal. And you'll see that it is yellow gold just like this ring here. Now this ring did not have any markings on it, so sometimes markings are distorted from wear or age, sometimes they're rubbed off completely, and a lot of times when you size a ring, they can be lost altogether. It just so happens that where the jeweler did the sizing is where the marking was. So when you're out and about hunting for jewelry, you might want to carry a little magnet around with you. Now this is a jeweler's magnet. There's nothing special about it. It's just called a jeweler's magnet. It just has some nice little heft to it. These are like 7 bucks on Amazon. This will help you determine if there is a base metal underneath that will react, to a magnet. So underneath this is probably a nickel or a zinc. Solid gold will not react to a magnet. You see how it's not reacting at all, and this is reacting there very easily. So that helps you know if a piece is plated. Now, sterling silver will also not react to a magnet, so just keep that in mind. So let's do the acid test. Now, when you're testing a piece of jewelry, you want to make sure that you do it kind of in the back. If you're doing a necklace, do it on the back end where you're not going to see any rub marks. For the most part, it's not going to do anything to your jewelry. You can polish out any little inconsistencies, but it's still a good idea to kind of do the scratch test in an area that can't be seen. Now you want to have a little bit of pressure on it, so you don't want to do it on a thin ring like right at the base, because you could dent it, especially if it's softer gold like 18 karat, 22 or 24. So kind of do it on the edge here of the thicker piece, and you're going to want to rub pretty good. You want to make sure that this is getting down at least through that top layer, and do kind of like a mark that's at least a 1/2 inch wide. Again, this is not going to hurt your piece of jewelry. You'll see that there's actually a little bit shinier edge from where it kind of polished itself off. You can use a really soft grit nail file. That's all that these are. And it helps to polish that back, so it's not going to leave any kind of marking or discoloration. So there's the mark there. Usually when something is not marked, I will start with the low 10 karat acid. And so that there, we're going to do a line. Some say just to do a drop. I like to do a line. So you'll see that it's actually holding at that 10 karat. That line is not dissolving or disintegrating. So we know that there's at least 10 karat or 10 karat worth of material in there. So that's holding pretty well. So we know, okay, it's at least 10 karat. So let's go up to the 14 karat to see how it reacts. So there's the 14 karat line. That is also holding. Give it a few seconds. Sometimes it takes a few seconds to react, but it's holding pretty well. So, all right, well, we know it's at least 14 karat. So now let's go up to the 18 karat. And that line vanished pretty instantaneously. So we know that it's not 18 karat. So it's holding at 10, holding at 14, but gone at 18. So you're going to know with these steps that you've got a 14 karat gold piece. The same thing would happen if it held at 10 but disappeared at 14, then you would know that that is a 10 karat piece. When you're done with the testing, you always want to clean everything off after each use. And if you're near a sink, I like to do a quick little rinse each time. It just ensures that there's no residue on there. Now, I am going to figure out how to flip this camera around because I don't see the button. So give me a second. I'll be right back with you. All right, guys. I have to do this. It's killing me inside if I don't do it because it just is. All right, you ready? Don't laugh at me. I have to do it. Okay. Here I am. If anybody knows what movie that is from, I will send them a free piece of jewelry. It popped into my head because I was trying to figure out how to do the camera and I couldn't do it while I was videotaping. And then of course I popped back up and I had to say it. It just was like, ugh, do it. And so again, here we go, guys. Here I am. Here's a tip. It's a 1980s movie. Come on, guys. I know you 40 and 50-year-olds have got to know what that's from. So the first person that can tell me what movie that stupid line is from, I will send you a free piece of jewelry. No, it will not be solid gold, but it will be a silver piece or a really nice high-end fashion piece. All right, let's continue with this. Okay, so we went over a couple of things. Get a loop or get a magnifier so that you can look at markings. Get a magnet so that you can so you can test for reaction of that metal underneath, and then ultimately do an acid test. 3 very good tips when buying jewelry, so that you can ensure that you're getting what you said or what they said you're getting. So with that said, yes, acid tests are very reliable. That's why most jewelers use them, but you can still be fooled by a couple of things. And I was fooled by these things, and that's why I now know what to do. So remember when I said that sterling silver pieces, this is a sterling silver ring with a beautiful garnet. Yes, it's on my website. That sterling silver does not react with a magnet. So this is just me pushing on it. Sorry, guys. But you see how it doesn't react to it. But plated pieces that have zinc or nickel or some other types of metal underneath will. So you can get pieces that are sterling silver that are then plated in gold, and it's called vermeil. It's something that is sold very readily on the market. It's got its own fancy name. I'm sure it's French. It sounds fantastic. Vermeil. You can get pieces that are vermeil and acid test them, and they'll come up gold. Whatever they're plated with, 10 karat, 14 karat, 18 karat. That's what happens if you don't push hard enough to get to underneath that, that top layer. Now, you don't want to find an area that if you push hard enough, it's going to bend or break your jewelry. You want to try to find a good solid part if possible, because you do want to give it a little force to, again, scratch off any top layer that might be there. So if you do that and you get to where you start seeing the silver, telltale sign, so that's one way that you can be fooled, is that it's vermeil and not solid gold. Second way, which is what happened to me, is you can get a piece, a vintage piece, an antique piece. A lot of them were made out of gold fill. And so I got this beautiful necklace, beaded necklace, 10 karat beads from the 1940s. It was a choker. It was awesome. Acid tested it twice. I always test my pieces twice. 10 karat gold. It had a really weird finish. It was beautiful, but it was kind of a weird finish that I'd never seen before. So I took it to a jeweler and had them acid test it in front of me. 10 karat gold. Perfect. So I got it up online, did the description, sold right away. I mean, it was really cool. It's a cool piece. So then a week later, the lady that bought it said, hey, I went to a jeweler. I think she was trying to get it extended or something because it was a full choker, like 14 inches. And so she said, my jeweler said that this isn't even gold. And so I was like, what? So she sent it back. Of course, I was like, you know, I've tested it. I had it tested 3 times, but you know, I want you to be happy, and so go ahead and send it back to me, and I'll retest it, and I'll give you a refund, do whatever I need to do to make you happy, because ultimately that's what you want. You want to have happy customers so that they're repeat clients and that they tell people about your business, and you know, tell people that you're legitimate and you're, you know, really interested in their satisfaction. So she sent it back. I tested it again. I did a video, and I sent it to her, and I said, look, I'm testing it. It's still testing at 10 karat. But I'm going to take it back to a jeweler and let them know what's going on and see if they can do another test. So I took it in. They tested it, and they said, well, it's 10 karat gold. It's coming out at 10 karat, but this finish does look a little off. So he asked for permission to grind off a little piece of gold in the back where you couldn't see it. And so I told him, yes, please do. And it's a really good way when you're just not sure to do it, just to have them grind a little piece off. You don't even notice it. And they will test that piece. So sure enough, he did it, and it came back as 10 karat gold fill. And so gold fill is different than gold plate. Gold fill means that that gold, that gold alloy is mixed in with another metal. And so, or gold content, I'm sorry, is mixed in with another metal. So it's not just on the surface, it's actually mixed into whatever alloy it's combined with. And so that gold content is inside. And that's where it can get a little tricky. A lot of antique pieces have this. A lot of, not Victorian, but vintage, you know, 1940s, 50s pieces have it. You don't see it so much now. Now it's a little bit more affordable for people to purchase gold and silver and things like that. So you just don't see it that often. So it fooled me. And so I had to relist it and drop the price considerably because it was gold fill, not solid gold. And so even though I did everything that I thought was right, tested it, took it to a jeweler and had them acid test it, it fooled us all. But you take responsibility for it. I've got it back up on site, and it's like $500 difference. Oh, it crushed me, but it is what it is. I want to make sure that I'm selling a product for what it really is worth. You don't want to overprice people. You don't want to scam people. And ultimately, you want to make sure that your customers are happy. So I did what I had to do, and I want to make sure that that everybody out there knows that there are pieces that can fool you. Just try to be careful. If there's a funky finish, take it to a jeweler and tell them to take a chunk out and test it so they know. But it is what it is. So, okay, I think that's the end of my video. I'm running 100 miles an hour because I just sprayed my nose with some kind of allergy medicine, and I took a pill for the other allergy, I don't know, and so I'm like just, So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it, and I hope that it gives you a couple little tips on when you're out there, you know, on how to purchase jewelry, what to look for, and ultimately what people mean when they say that they've tested a piece of jewelry or acid tested a piece of jewelry to ensure gold content. Because you'll see that on appraisals. A lot of them will say tested, and you're like, well, what the heck does that mean? That's what it means, that it was ultimately either acid tested or tested in an electronic machine to test that gold content. So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. I am going to go blow my nose and think about what I'm going to have for dinner. So thanks for joining me. Have a good one. Bye-bye.